How's it going, everyone? I'm Donovan and this is How to Happy. In this video, we're going to be talking about the importance of tracking your goals outside of your head. So, you might think you eat healthy most of the time, right? Or maybe you don't fight with your spouse that often, right? Or some other, idea. You have a general idea of how often you do things. Now, if you start studying psychology, you're going to find out really quickly that human memory is very susceptible to error. So while we all might have these kind of intuitive senses of how frequently we do things, there's also a good chance that we're off by quite a bit. So let me share a personal story to kind of illuminate. There was a time when I started a workout plan that was supposed to last 30 days, and I started it in June, right? So I should have been done around the start of July or even before that. And as I was doing this set of workouts, there was one for each day, so I knew exactly, where I should be. And, I had a couple things come up, so there were a few days that I missed, but I figured that I was mostly on track. However, when I got done, I was really surprised because, like I said, I started in June, it was 30 days, and I ended up finishing in the middle of July. And looking back, that means at least 1 out of 3 days I would be off. I wouldn't do my workout, I would skip it. That's absolutely crazy. 33% of the time is a ridiculously high amount of the time to not be doing the workout. Yet, even though I had the dates in front of me, thinking back in my memory, I felt like, I went most days. I went and worked out most days. But the data, once I saw it, gave me an entirely different picture. And obviously, the actual days that had passed are more realistic than memory. So because memory is so susceptible to these distortions, it's really important if you're setting goals to track them outside of your head. When we track goals outside of our head, it gives us the data that we need to understand our actions. If we don't do it, we have to rely on memory, and there's just a huge chance of error. So think, for example, if there was a medication you had to take every day, you're going to want to make sure that you have some kind of list or something, right? Some kind of calendar that you mark down or something that you track out of your head to make sure you take your medication every day. Otherwise, you're going to have a bunch of complications. Of course, not every situation is going to be that drastic. However, we still want to track our goals in some tangible way to make sure that we have the data we need and can make adjustments as we need to reach our goals. Tracking your goals might sound a little bit overwhelming, right? A lot of people don't want to sit down and write out a bunch of stuff and track it every day, but a really bare bones approach can actually help significantly. So if we're using the workout, for example, all we would have to do is pull up a calendar and simply mark down days, yes or no, whether or not we did the workout. That would give us enough data to know if we were on track. We could look back and say, oh wow, this first week I missed 3 days already. I really need to get it together because I want to be working out every single day. There's a lot of different ways that you can track the goal that you're working on. You can use spreadsheets, you can use, a checklist, you can use a calendar. It doesn't really matter. It just matters what works for you. If you want to get more in depth, then you can start journaling and writing about the experience, writing about what happened during the times. But if you really want to scale it back, you can go, just do a checklist or a calendar to cross off that you've worked on your goal for that time. Once you have that data, you're going to easily be able to see how much progress you've made on your goal. In addition, you'll have data to see if there's any potential problems so that you can adjust around them. So for example, if you find that Mondays you're just not getting your workout done, then you can look back and think, okay, what happens on Mondays so that I'm not making my workout? Should I switch to a different day? Should I make some adjustments on Mondays to make sure that I can get it done? Without the data, you may not recognize when your problem areas are, and you may not have enough data to make successful adjustments. One important note to keep in mind, if you can't track your goal, right? If you're feeling like, well, I would love to track it, there's just really no way to do so. I highly recommend that you try to get more specific, because if you can't track your goal, it's really hard to know when you've made progress, and it's really hard to know if you've accomplished it. So try to be more specific, or try to find behaviors that feed up into the goal so that you can actually track it and have an indication of your progress. All right, so The main thrust of this video is just that if you're not already tracking your goals outside of your head, you really should start, because it's going to give you the data that you need to feel a lot more confident in your behaviors. It's also going to help you make adjustments and make sure that you're doing the types of things that you want to be doing instead of relying on human memory, which can be really problematic. Let's move on to the exercise section. Number 1, are there any experiences you've had thinking you behaved one way only to find out later it wasn't true? 2, what is one goal you're working on and how will you track it? That's all I've got for this video, so as always, if you have any questions, comments, topics you want me to cover, throw them down in the box below and I will get to them as soon as possible, and I will see you next time.
You can check out more content at howtohappy.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date on the videos. We've also got a Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook that you can check out. Reflect, take action, and enjoy life. See you next time.